Hello again everyone, and welcome to the second video in this series of videos that will help you with the completion of your Level 2 Essential Skills Wales ICT assignment. Now in this video I'll be going over the research aspect of the first activity, or the first part of activity 1, which involves creating a spreadsheet to work out the overall cost of furniture for the newly revamped sixth form common room. So obviously, to find out that information so that we can make an accurate and reliable spreadsheet, we need to use non-ICT based research, which we can get from catalogues and magazines which sell furniture, and we also need to get that information from ICT based resources. In this case, we're going to use the internet. So what you'll need to do in order to get a good, accurate and valid spreadsheet, you'll need to go onto the internet, find particular products that you think would be suitable, depending on what the assignment brief has asked you for. You also then need to select the price information so that we can put that into the spreadsheet and start working out an overall cost. And we also need to make a list of the websites that we used. Now, I've got an exemplar search log here, which is also in the Essential Skills folder, which is on the pupil shared area. And it's in the spreadsheet folder, and it's called spreadsheet search log. So that's if you need to have a look just to remind yourself what it should look like. So if I go into mine here, I've mentioned the date that I've performed the search on. Now the search criteria is literally what I typed into Google. So I wanted to find a washing machine. Now my example here is slightly different to the scenario that you have to actually undertake for your assignment, but it essentially applies in the same way. It's just a different theme, different topic. So I searched on Google for washing machine, or washing machines for sale in the UK, so I put it in inverted commas there to show that that was my exact search. I found a link to Currys, which I know sells electrical items, so I copy and pasted the URL link into this particular cell of the table here. And then probably one of the most important columns in the table is the information that I selected. So what I chose was, I found a washing machine which I said, yeah, I like that one, so I need to put in the actual make of the washing machine and the price, which I've got in here. Then what I need to do is I also need to talk about the reliability of the information. Now I know it's reliable because the information has come from a respected electrical retailer, Currys, so I knew that the information would be valid and accurate. If it was just a piece of information that I found on a blog and someone said, oh, there's a Hoover washing machine for £40, there's no way I could know that's reliable. But because they're a reputable online electronics retailer, I know that the information is reliable. Also, we need to talk about copyright issues that may occur. Now, with regards to taking prices off the internet, they're not copyrighted. It's not like an image where somebody's gone out and taken a photo and then they've copyrighted it so that other people can't use it. It's not the same for the prices. We can actually take the prices off there and just say, right, we're building a spreadsheet to find out the cost of refurbishing the common room and adding some furniture, or in my case, a kitchen. So that's essentially the information that you have to put into your search log. So you can see I've done that here for all the searches that I've done. Put the URL link, the model. These comments here are kind of generic. I mean, this one, as you can see, is exactly the same, so I just copy and pasted that into each of the cells. These ones here, I mentioned the different websites and why I think they're reliable. So I did that for all the washing machines that I searched for, microwaves, and also for kettles. Now you have to include a piece of non-ICT research in your work. So what I did, I got a catalogue, which was the Argos catalogue, but you'll have a different one on the day. And what I did was I found a price for a kettle which I liked, and what you would do is you would take the page out of the magazine and you would highlight it to say where you'd used it. So I'll show you an example. I've taken a photo. I found this kettle here, and what I did was I took the price and I said I've used this price in my spreadsheet, $59.99. And then you can see that in my search log I've just mentioned that it's a non-ICT research, and rather than a website it came from the Argos catalogue, but the rest of it still applies. Okay, so that's how we set up our search log, and it's important that we do this. Another piece of information that's important is actually taking evidence that we did visit the website to get the prices, just to show that to show the examiner that we really have gone through the process of making a reliable and accurate spreadsheet. So then, the way that we would do this, and I'm going to go through one example, is I would make a new, I'm going to make a new document in this case. So I've got a blank Microsoft Word document. What I'm going to do first of all, to make sure that I've got plenty of room to fill in my table, is I'm going to change the orientation to landscape. So I've got a lot of room going across there. I'm going to insert a table, which I know is 6 columns. It has 6 columns in it, and I know I'm going to need, say, at least 12 rows in it to include my title as well. So I'm just going to put 16 in to be safe. So I've got 6 columns and 16 rows. It totally depends what you want to do. Now I've got those in there. I'm going to just do this quickly, copy and paste to make it a bit easier. So if I copy that entire row there, right click, copy, and go into my table here. If I put that there, it should take all the formatting with it as well. And just to show you in an example like this, if I click into this cell here, if I want this to show up in the middle of the cell like that, I am just going to go to layout, and I can go over to here, and I can distribute the text to the very center of the cell, much in the same way you would do if you were center aligning text. Okay, so that's how I set up the table, and then you're ready to start typing in. So what I'm going to do now is set up, oh, and also, I shouldn't forget this, this is very important, you need to insert a header. So insert a header, and you need to make sure at least on here, just insert a blank header, you put your name. Just to make sure, so that when you print it off, we know exactly whose it is and it's ready to go in your folder and done. So that's a good practice for any document that you do. So all you do then, if you go to, well, I can also change the size of that. If I highlight it, go to the home tab, increase the size, make it bold so it's clear. Then I'm going to go to design again and close the header and footer. That means I can go back into the main body of my page. So then, let's go into, I'm going to go into Publisher and make a new document there. And when you do your screenshot, make sure you make it clear to the examiner exactly what screenshot you've taken. So I always do it this way. Landscape. And I'm going to insert a header. Again, so I'm just going to put Mr. Creswell. Highlight the text. Go to the Home tab where I can change the size of the font. Make it bold. I'm going to do that. Bit bigger maybe, and go back to master page and close the master page. What you can also do if you don't want this blue line around it, I use this as a guideline, you could go into page design, margins, and choose none. But I actually like to have the margins in there when I'm doing screenshots as a guide. So I go onto the internet and I'm going to type in, let's have a look, let's go to Google. And I'm going to type into there, let's say, washing machines sold in UK. So I'm going to go there, and it's going to come up, and the first one there is Currys. So I'm going to go to Currys like that. So I'm going to say, I'm going to choose any one. Let's say I choose this one here. Okay, I can actually, in Windows 7, this is very good. You can do this in school as well. If you click at the top, on this, on the top bar here, and drag it to the right hand side, it snaps to half the page, like so. And it also means then if I open my search log and do the same, it snaps to the page there, so I can easily type it in. So the date today is the 5th of the 6th, 2013. The search criteria was a Google search, and I typed in washing machines sold in the UK, close quotation marks, because that's my exact search. Now, what I'm going to do for the website, the URL, don't worry about all the rest of this because it's going to take up loads of space in your table. Just say you went to currys.co.uk, highlight that part of the URL, copy, and I'm I'm just going to paste that so it keeps the formatting, so you can see it's a website. So if I move over here then, the information that I selected was, that's a hell of a code that is, MIELEW 5872 72 washing machine. And I've got caps on, a disaster, a washing machine. Okay, and then I'm going to say the price, and that is 900. Oh no, not that one. Yeah, I'll put that one in. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to put 999.99. See how they get you there, saying it's just under 1,000, but it's only by a penny, but it looks cheaper. So, reliability of information. Currys is a reputable online retailer that specializes in electrical goods. Now the copyright, as I said, we could just say prices on the website are not copyrighted. You could say, so I am able to use them. That's fine. You've shown the person marking your work that you've understood how the copyright works in this particular instance. So what I also need to do now, if I maximize this screen again, if I click on this link here, I can actually take a screenshot now, like so, put that into my publisher document, and this is why I was going to show you how the margins work, because if you do it as landscape, it fits nicely inside the lines, although I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. And what I always think is good to do is double click on the actual screenshot. It is an image, but it's a screenshot. Choose a color of the border, so I'm going to go for black. You could choose whatever you want, and I'm going to choose picture border again and go down to the weight, and I'm going to choose 6. This way it clearly makes the screenshot stand out, so it's really, really good to do this. So I've now got a screenshot to prove that I went on there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a shape. I'm just going to insert a circle. I'm going to drag it over there to show the information that I selected. If I double click on the shape, or I can click on format if it doesn't take me to that when I double click it, I go to shape fill, and I'm going to choose no fill because I don't want a color, I just want the outline. And the shape outline I'm going to choose is red, and the shape outline weight I'm going to change to 6, so it's nice and clear. So you'll need to do that now for all of the items that appear on the assignment brief. So they need 2 sofas, but you probably just choose the same sofa and then go for 2 of that sofa. You need a desk or table. You also need to have facilities for making tea or coffee, so a kettle, a microwave, you could have either or, and maybe anything else. But remember, you've got a budget here of £2,000. So what we'll do once we've got all that information collected is put that into a spreadsheet. We see here again the model of the washing machine, model of microwave, model of the kettle, then the shop you got it from, and the price. But as I say, we'll go over that in a later video. So for now, you need to make sure you've got a search log. And remember, you can look at the exemplar if you need to, or rewind the video if you need any help with that. Take a screenshot, like I've got here, and highlight the information. And you also need to make sure you've got evidence of getting non-ICT based research. And then once you've done that, you're good to go and ready to start your actual creation of your spreadsheet.